Nebuchadnezzar just issued a decree because he is a king. And so what does that mean these watchers are? They have to be some sort of an equal level of authority as him. In fact, they have to be even higher than him because they are issuing a decree of the highest, most powerful king in all the world. Then verse 13, I saw in my visions of my head as I lay in bed, and behold, a watcher, a holy one, came down from heaven. What? A watcher, a holy one. So notice there's synonyms. A watcher is a holy one. A holy one is a watcher. We find holy ones elsewhere in the book of Daniel, and now it's just clarifying what the term of a watcher.
Right.
So what does a watcher convey? It conveys some kind of a function, again, like an angel that we said last week, a function that somehow they are looking over the affairs of men, but they're doing more than that, because in the story, this watcher proclaims aloud and says, chop down the tree and lop off its branches. Well, where does he get the right to do that? Well, you keep reading and you find verse 17. Well, even before that, not only is the tree being chopped down, but this becomes a prophecy that Nebuchadnezzar himself is going to have his mind changed from a man to a beast, and he's going to lose his kingdom. And then verse 17 is the real critical one for what we're talking about. The sentence is by decree of the watchers, the decision by the word of the holy ones, to the end that the living may know that the Most High rules the kingdoms of men and gives it to whom he will, and sets over it the lowliest of men. So we talked about this a minute ago, right? That there's the Most High, and that's the language that's used here. In fact, I think I'm of the opinion that Most High is almost always the title that's used on the lips of Gentiles throughout the Old Testament.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can just kind of do a word study and see that almost all the time that's his name. That's what you get. But nevertheless, the Most High is the one ruling in the verse, and he is the one who has the ultimate authority to give whatever he wants to whomever he wants. But he does it through the agency of the intermediary, which are called the watchers and the holy ones. And these watchers and holy ones are able to themselves issue a decree, which is funny because we just saw that Nebuchadnezzar just issued a decree.
A decree, that's right.
Because he is a king. And so what does that mean these watchers are? They have to be some sort of an equal level of authority as him. In fact, they have to be even higher than him, because they are issuing a decree of the highest, most powerful king in all the world.
Yeah. So just to help people understand, when we think about the physical realm, and when I say this word, I think some people understand, God chooses in his own sovereignty, he chooses to use humans to interact with the world for him. For instance, you and I are both proclaimers of the gospel. We have been gifted with the power of the Spirit and commissioned to be proclaimers of the word, right? And so we can say we actually speak on behalf of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord when we open his book. We're administering, and God said that the way in which the world will know my gospel is by the proclaimers of the gospel, by the church. So he has not only this body of people, the called out ones, and in that structure, he has hierarchies, right? He's got elders who are serving and shepherding and watching their souls and feeding them. And then you have deacons who are serving. And then you have the body at large who we all become messengers, right? Paul describes this as ambassadors, right? You could also call us messengers or angels if you want, because we are taking the message of Christ out to the world. God has designed this to be part of his mission. So it is safe to say, as you're reading Daniel, he isn't necessarily giving you the encyclopedia paragraph of what a watcher is. He's just describing how it works. So we kind of have to reverse engineer our thinking here, going, well, look, apparently God has a council of people, or created beings, we should have to say, that work as very similar to what's happening here on the earth. It works in the spiritual realm. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
God likes to use his creation, and allow them to be involved in what he is 100% sovereign over. So as Calvinists, we don't have a problem with the idea that there is a God who is over all things, utterly sovereign to every meticulous detail. And at the same time, he chooses to use agents that have their own agency.
hmm
They're not, we're not, as Armenians like to say, we're not robots, which we agree. We're not robots.
Agree.
We're actually beings with real wills that are our own. But God is sovereign over that, and he, for whatever reason, he chooses to use us in doing the very thing that he has decreed.
hmm
So there's no battle or war between us and God in terms of his ultimate final sovereign will. And that's where I would differ from some of the guys that are talking about this subject outside of our circles.
Yeah. Yeah, that agree completely. I mean, our own confession talks about this. First cause, second cause.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So this doesn't go against our confession. And this is what I think is so refreshing about this conversation, is that I feel very safe at times theologically, where people feel uncomfortable, like, oh, well, this is all new and this is strange and this is different. And I'm here to say it's actually not. It doesn't go against our knowledge of who God is. It doesn't go against our understanding of creation, sin, the fall. It definitely doesn't go how God functions, because first cause, second cause,